Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. We are working with Psalm number 90 today, very appropriate psalm for me personally, my family today. Father-in-law is still hanging in there, but not sure how many hours he has left. But Psalm number 90, it's a prayer of Moses. It's the only psalm we have that's attributed to Moses. Let me go ahead and read it, pray it for us, and then there's three main points I want us to work with. Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You return man to dust and say, Return, O children of man. For 1,000 years in your sight are but as yesterday when it is past, or as a watch in the night. You sweep them away as with a flood. They are like a dream, like grass that is renewed in the morning. In the morning it flourishes and is renewed. In the evening it fades and withers. For we are brought to an end by your anger. By your wrath we are dismayed. You have set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence. For all our days pass away under your wrath. We bring our years to an end like a sigh. The years of our life are 70, or even by reason of strength 80, but their span is but toil and trouble. They are soon gone, and we fly away. Who considers the power of your anger and your wrath according to the fear of you? So teach us to number our days aright, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Return, O Lord, how long? Have pity on your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your steadfast love, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. Make us glad for as many days as you have afflicted us, and for as many years as we have seen evil. Let your work be shown to your servants, and your glorious power to their children. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Okay, so three main points here. Number one, we meet it in that very first verse. O Lord, you are God, you are from everlasting to everlasting. And that's important for us to remember, that the Lord is the one who is from everlasting to everlasting, not us. We're pretty temporary, but the Lord, everlasting to everlasting. So we need to keep that in mind, that God is the one who is eternal, that God is the one who is forever, without beginning, without end. We are temporary, especially our time here on earth. So temporary. So given that, that brings us to point two. And that is, Lord, teach us to number our days aright, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Because we're temporary here on earth, because we don't have long, it's important for us to number our days aright, that we embrace these days with wisdom, that we count them wisely. That means that there are no throwaway days. See, a lot of times I think that we take the approach that we're going to start living later. Okay, so when we're young teenagers, we think that we're really going to live when we get our driver's license. Then maybe we think we're really going to live when we get out of high school, whatever that might mean, into college or into a career. If we go to college, then we think, man, I'm really going to start living when I get out of college. And then we might start thinking, I'm really going to start living when I get married, or I'm really going to start living when I turn 30 and really start a career. You get to be my age and you start thinking, man, I'm really going to live when I retire. You get the picture. We keep postponing when we're going to start living. Okay, and that's to be foolish in numbering our days. What we have to recognize is that these are the only days that we have. And so, Lord, teach us to number these days rightly. Teach us to value these days appropriately, because they're the only days we have. Life doesn't start later. Life is now. And we need to value these days appropriately. And so that's really important, that God is forever, from everlasting to everlasting. We're temporary, so Lord, teach us to number these days aright. There's no throwaway days. Doesn't mean we don't have down days or play days or need some time off, downtime, but it means that we recognize that these days matter and that they're a gift, they're precious. And so we don't start living later, we live now. And then the third thing I want to call attention to, the last line of the prayer, the last line of the psalm. Establish the work of our hands. Yes, establish the work of our hands. We are so temporary, but we invest. And the only way our investment is going to last beyond us is if God establishes it. And so, Lord, help me to number these days rightly, to gain a heart of wisdom, and help me so invest my life that the things I give myself to are things that matter to you, O Lord. And that even when I'm gone and I can't make those things happen any longer, Lord, would you establish those things? Would you uphold what I've given my life to, so that my life won't just be insignificant, but you've actually valued what I've put my hands to. And as I put my hands to them and then have to take my hands off because I'm gone, Lord, would you put your hand to it and establish it well beyond my time here? Quite a prayer. You know, God, you're the one who's from everlasting to everlasting. I am so temporary, 70 years, 80 years at the most, not much beyond that. Would you teach me to number my days rightly so that I don't think life starts later? I recognize that today is a gift and I need to live this day well and rightly to your glory. And then what I invest myself in, what I put my hands to, Lord, would you establish it so that even when I'm gone, it will still be standing. We need, wherever we find ourselves scattered, we need that wisdom, and then we need God to guide us, that we put our hands to things that he will establish that are significant to God, so that they will be long lasting, that they will outlive us. Well, wherever you find yourself scattered today, Psalm 90, take it to heart, and may the Lord establish the work of our hands and teach us to number our days rightly. He's the one who's from everlasting to everlasting. God bless.